Now joined by head coach Katie Conover after a 21-14 loss to the BU Terriers. Coach, a lot of good from this game. What did you like about your group's performance?
You know, I feel like I walked away from that game feeling like, the score doesn't really tell the story. And I think although there's a million things that we got to clean up and tighten up and execute so much better, I do feel like we're at a better starting spot this year than last year. I thought our kids followed a game plan pretty well. We made BU change their game plan a number of times, which feels like there's some wins in that column. And I think we had some freshmen that really contributed. So I think there's a lot of positives. Obviously I want to win. That's the ultimate goal, but there's a lot of good takeaways.
Emma Kale, one of those freshmen that played really, really well. What did you like about her game?
Yeah, she's so scrappy and she never stops moving. She does anything you want her to do. You're always going to get the best version of Emma Kale. She's a really reliable kid, and she is talk about a kid that is just getting started. I mean, she's going to figure a lot of things out for us. She's really great. She's really great on the defensive end too, which probably goes a little unnoticed because she's pretty fancy on attack, but for that little body, she can do some damage.
You trailed by 4 midway through that second quarter, and then you battled back. You got it to a goal. What did you really like about your group's sort of resilience? They kept hanging around against a good BU team.
That's what we just kind of said in the locker room, too. Our attack, sometimes when we struggle, we have a hard time getting out of that. It's usually the last 10 minutes of the game when the game is just totally out of our hands, and we start to pull it together when the pressure's off. But I feel like a couple times in this game today, I feel like they regrouped, reset, and kind of came back a little bit stronger. So they were able to bridge the gap and go for some runs. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, but I think that showed some resilience, and it's just good to know that your group has those, personality traits.
Did you get an explanation on that goal they called back?
No. Oh, our goal that
the 11th goal.
Oh yeah, so I think the ball was in the goal crease, and Cam ran in and grabbed it, which I can't fault her for trying.
And then looking forward, you guys got a really good group. Last year, you've improved every year, sort of since the transition. What do you like about this group moving forward?
I think these kids are competitive. Well, one, I can say, they love to play, and they love to compete, and they love to practice. And so when we go on the road recruiting, that's kind of the first thing we look for in a kid is who's happy, who loves to compete, who's showing up because it's the only place they want to be. And I think we have a locker room full of kids that they love to play and they love to compete. They're not there because their parents just keep signing them up for stuff. I mean, there's a real passion for the game. So, and they're very coachable. They want to listen. They want to do better. They want to support their people. So I don't know. I feel like sky's the limit for us. I feel like we're in a really good spot.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.